puruṣa between the enjoyer, īśvarayoḥ, and the supreme controller, atra, herein, there is no vailakṣaṇyam, dissimilarity, minute, api, even, tat, of them, anya, as being completely different, kalpanā, the imagined idea, apārthā, useless, jñānaṁ, knowledge, cha, and prakṛteḥ, of material nature, guṇaḥ, of quality. Translation. According to knowledge in the material mode of goodness, there is no qualitative difference between the living entity and the supreme controller. The imagination of qualitative difference between them is useless speculation. Purport. According to certain philosophers, there are 25 elements, among which a single category is stipulated for both the individual living entity and the Supreme Lord. Such impersonal knowledge is declared by the Lord to be material. Jñānaṁ cha prakṛter guṇaḥ. Such knowledge can never, however, be accepted to establish the qualitative identity of the Supreme Lord and the living entity who expand from Him. Materialistic persons sometimes believe that there is a Supreme Spirit in heaven, but also think that human beings are identical with their material bodies and thus qualitatively and perpetually separated from the Supreme Lord. Knowledge of the Lord's qualitative oneness with the living entity, as described in this verse, refutes the materialistic concept of life and partially establishes the absolute truth. Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu described the actual situation as acintya-bhedābheda-tattva. The supreme controller and the controlled living entities are simultaneously one and different. In the material mode of goodness, the oneness is perceived. As one proceeds further, the stage of viśuddha-sattva or purified spiritual goodness, one finds spiritual variety within the qualitative oneness, completing one's knowledge of the absolute truth. The words na vailakṣaṇyam and vapi boldly affirm that the individual living entity is indisputably part and parcel of the Supreme Lord and qualitatively one with Him. Any philosophical attempt to separate the living entity from the Supreme Lord and deny His eternal servitude to the Lord is thus refuted. Speculation arriving at the conclusion that the living entity has independent existence separate from the Lord is described here as apārthā, useless. Nevertheless, the theory of 25 elements is acceptable to the Lord as a preliminary phase in the revolution of spiritual knowledge. Translation. According to knowledge, in the material mode of goodness, there is no qualitative difference between the living entity and the supreme controller. The imagination of qualitative difference between them is useless speculation. Here speaking about our acintya-bhedābheda-tattva, oneness and difference. The jivas are qualitatively one and quantitatively different. We have similar qualities. So saying in the mode of goodness, we have no difference between the Supreme Lord and ourselves. In viśuddha-sattva, in a purified goodness, we are all qualitatively one with the Supreme Lord. Because jivas are independent, want to have enjoying the material world by lording over the material nature, the jiva is suffering in the material world. So independence of jiva is not acceptable by the Supreme Lord. They are oneness. That's why it's called our philosophy acintya-bhedābheda-tattva, oneness and difference. Simultaneously we are one and simultaneously different. Just like everything is the energy of the Lord. Everything from the earth, from the sand, everything is energy of the Lord. Why can't we worship? So substance is different. Substance is the full, complete whole. Instead of worshipping the part, we are worshipping the whole. That's what Bhagavad Gita says in the beginning of 2nd chapter. It says about it. So in the whole subject matter speaking about the material elements matter. In Bhagavad Gita, in the 2nd chapter, it is stated, knowledge means knowledge of spirit and matter called knowledge. So one may question whether we should study the matter or not. There are 24 gross material elements are there. Earth, water, air, fire, ether, mind, intelligence, false ego, then acquiring senses, working senses, object of the senses considered as a material science. The one sense, those who are qualified, who can understand the subject, who can read, as Maharaj said, that no need everybody to know about the matter. But at least basic things one should know what are the material elements. That is why one should learn the Bhagavad Gita preliminary to understand the Srimad Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam, certainly one word will say in the beginning of the first canto will say matter. If the devotee does not read Bhagavad Gita, you will not know what is called matter. So fundamental study is one should read Bhagavad Gita to understand the Bhagavatam. The Bhagavatam about the matter elaborately explained, but the Bhagavatam only gave a few hints about the matter. So if somebody want to know about the matter, then one should study Bhagavatam, what is matter actually, completely. How it acts on our body, how it acts with the prakrti. How one can understand only by studying Bhagavatam about matter fully. In Bhagavad Gita, one should know what is matter, how our body made of, how our working sense object is, how it works out. So how matter has no consciousness, as Maharaj said. So what is ultimate thing is the soul, the ultimate embodied soul is making the matter functioning. How you see eye, how our matter, how you see, our hands function, our legs function like that. Because there is a jiva is there in our body, jiva and paramatma is there. Otherwise the metal body is a dead body like that. Without jiva, the body is a dead body. The matter may be there, matter cannot function without the jivas. So fundamental study, one has to go through Bhagavad Gita as it is to understand the basic concept of what is matter. Studying elaborate about matter is one subject. Understanding the basics are different. Just like not every devotee know what is Bhagavad Gita fully. Not everybody know what is Bhagavatam fully. Not all the devotee has studied all the books of Srila Prabhupada. But by hearing classes, the basic concept of the subject matter has been revealed by the senior sannyasis through the Prabhupada books. So one has to be very attentive in the Bhagavatam class. I always said in the beginning of the Bhagavatam class, when I was giving last year, every devotee should chant the sloka, Srimad Bhagavatam sloka. The sloka is not different from the, just like we say Bhagavatam is Amala Purana, spotless. So every devotee should chant the sloka. Some people may not can pronounce it properly. It doesn't matter. One should practice, one should chant the slokas, repeat. Very few people chant when Maharaj is present. One may say that time factor. No, every devotee can chant Bhagavatam. If you go Maya for Bhagavatam class, there are tens of devotees chant the sloka, repeat the sloka when sannyasi repeats. When any Maharaj gives us classes like that. So one should not feel shy to repeat the sloka in the classes. Whether you are going to pronounce it correctly or not pronounce it correctly, it doesn't matter. The purpose is one should chant the Bhagavatam Nityam, like every day you should chant the Bhagavatam sloka. That will purify you to some extent. So by just like a practice advancement, practice everything, one abhyasa, everything one can progress in that like that. So one should not feel shy in the class of chanting the sloka. I told many of the who are sitting here, I told them repeat, chant the sloka slowly so the others can hear. So maybe beginning may be difficult, but keep on chanting, you'll be very fluent of chanting, reciting slokas like that. You need not be a Sanskrit Pandit. There are transliterations there written in English, one can easily go through it like that. So devotees should have a first qualification, eager to learn the subject matter of the basics of the philosophical treatise enunciated in the Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. So one should have a basic, like we are all going, devotees are going out preaching, everybody want to be a preacher. Unless you have basic knowledge, you cannot preach to the common man. Those who don't know anything about our sampradaya or anything about the Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, easy to preach. Somebody who already has some knowledge, if you don't have basic knowledge, you cannot answer them back. So fundamentally, one should have a habit of reading and hearing, which is mandatory for the devotees. Those days I told you the classes, only 15 minutes will be class based on the purport. 15 minutes, all the Maharajas giving instruction to the devotees. That makes them to practice more better, to live more better in the devotional service by following regulative principles, and it will make you more stronger on path of bhakti. So instructions are very, very important in the Bhagavatam class, even for the devotees. That's why the first qualification of attending Bhagavatam class, one should repeat the sloka when Maharaj already after chanting. Everyone should chant, irrespective of whether Matajis or devotees, everybody should chant like that. So this practice has to be just like when we are singing kirtan, everybody repeats chorus. That looks wonderful to hear. Okay, everybody chant Bhagavatam sloka repeating after the Maharaj. It will be nice to hear. So it will be, many people can chant. Tons of devotees can chant. So there are things are basics which if you follow it will be easy. Just like here to understand the matter, speaking about the Bhagavad, like easy to speak, oneness and difference. That's our philosophy. What is oneness and difference? Is one has to study. If you don't study, you will not understand. Maharaj may be giving clarity, it is there in the book. Unless we learn here, unless we study, we cannot understand what is our acintya-bhedābheda-tattva. Like energy and energetic. In previous purport, Maharaj explained about it like that. So unless one go through it, we cannot understand the subject very thoroughly like that. We all know, all the devotees know, we are qualitatively one, we are quantitatively we are different. What is the difference? Is a gulf different? Like a ocean, drop of ocean, that's a quantity difference of the Lord and the Jivas. Jivas, we are minute, we are infinitesimal part and part of the Supreme Lord. Even with that small independence. So Jiva trying to enjoy the material nature. So they are suffering in the material world. So with that independent, even a little bit of tint of bhakti, the Lord reciprocate to the Jivas. Tint of bhakti means the slightest bhakti. That's like a Lord is very, very merciful to the Jiva. Okay. So Bhagavad Gita says even abhichet sudracharo bhajatevam ananya bhakti. Even devotee come perform abominable activity. Still if he is in path of bhakti, considered to be as a saintly or devotee. So Lord is unbelievably merciful. Like, see, quantitatively, if you see that, just to take one word of mercy, merciful. How the Lord is merciful? Sometimes costless mercy. Sometimes if you see in the material world, we are not merciful to anybody. If somebody offended us, we are ready to offend him back. We cannot be able to forget throughout our lifetime. We develop our hatred, enmity, enviousness, so many quality we develop. But the Lord doesn't develop enmity. The develop irrespective of all whatever attitude by the devotee. Still Lord reciprocate. He is so merciful, he sanctioned material things, so many things he sanctioned. Sometimes we see in the nectar of devotion, Rupa Goswami say the characteristics of devotional service. The first one is relieving the devotee one from material distress. The moment he entered in the path of bhakti. So sometimes the devotee join and in ISKCON, they may be coming from different background. Immediately all the material distress are one at a time vanquished. No time. How the Lord is merciful, can you believe it? In the material world it doesn't happen like that. If you are earning only 5,000 rupees, to earn 15,000 rupees, you have to wait for another 10 years. Maybe not, sometime. We have to work very, very hard unless you are qualified or Ajyada Sukhuti come into a position, you will not see even material comfort that easily. Very, very, very difficult. That is why one of the Maharaj said in the class, I think Bhana Maharaj, in the Barketro, out of millions of lifetime, we get the opportunity to perform devotional service by joining ISKCON or contacting with this ISKCON devotees or whatever it may be. If you misuse it, then millions of lifetime one have to wait to get the opportunity. Either you may get a human body, you may not get a human body. So make the hay while sun shines. So one has to capitalize the opportunity given to us, every devotee, to progress one himself by practicing bhakti seriously. So Bhagavad Gita says bhakti is never casual. Bhakti one cannot take casual. It's just like you take it lightly. It is serious. Just like we are taking prasadam every day. Just like a practice, just like following regularly, chanting 16 rounds, hearing Bhagavatam, reading Bhagavad Gita, performing services, what is given in the temple, everything is, they want to take it seriously. One cannot take it lightly. So devotional service is very rare, but one has to take it very seriously. Not everybody is like, there are different type of, there are mixed devotees, there are devotees in mode of goodness, there are a lot of devotees in mode of goodness and passion. So we are trying to come at the level of minimum pure goodness. We are trying, not even a goodness, we are trying to, path of bhakti makes you one in pure goodness. In that state, one progress further on devotional service. So it is not that easy to read in the books about mode of goodness, passion, ignorance, easy to read. But sometimes whether the devotee we are in goodness or not, it is very debatable subject matter. How we one path of period of years, one should have a realization of one's quality to be improvised by acquiring knowledge. So knowledge is like a sword, cut. It makes you proper understanding to realize oneself. Without knowledge, very difficult. Then one may do services mechanically without any understanding. So, if a devotee should ready to do any service, any time, without any discrimination. That's a proper understanding of devotional service. In those days, the president used to give service to the devotee. Devotee says, the president always says, the qualification of the devotee is unconditional obedience to the senior devotee. Unconditional. No questioning why, how, what, which one, why. Do it means you should do it. Unless we learn to be very humble to perform devotional service, will never progress. Despite hearing years of Bahadam class, years of things, you will not progress. Because every one of us, we have a lot of false ego. We have anarthas in our heart. So it takes time to purify. So attentiveness, just like a whole name offenses or inattentive chanting, also offenses, one of the offenses of the 10 offenses. So we are all practicing, we are all beginners of Krishna consciousness, or neophytes. Great too. So when you are in the beginning of process, one has to be very careful of performing devotional service without offenses, without offending anybody else. So obedience is the foremost quality a devotee has to develop. Unconditional obedience. Those days President used to say, I hope Draupadi Prabhu know better than anybody else who is sitting over here. Those days we have one Italian devotee called Ganga Prabhu. One devotee would have finished service. Immediately he will say, do this, do that. He will do it. He will not question, Prabhu, I only finished service, now how can I do others? No question, you have to do it. That's called obedience. When you are obedience, when you are doing more and more service, you will more progress. If that service is finished, devotee should come and ask the senior, Prabhu, I am free, what service I can do more? Devotee, a good devotee means aspire to do more and more service, not limiting himself to one service. Devotee should ready to all services in the temple. Anything, everything, there is a vacuum, you should fill up. There's like a lot of preachers here, there, I can say even there are days, they are all fundraisers going out. When puja room, nobody there, president will ask him to go puja room and wash pot, he will wash pots. Serving prasadam, cleaning the kitchen, everything devotee will do. The devotee should not limit himself to only a very, very narrowed space of performing service. Devotee should have a broad-minded, to develop broad mind to do more and more service. So Bahadam class, one should understand, if somebody understands hearing Bahadam class for years together, then he should perform service more and more and more, not less and less and less and less. So what is the purpose of hearing Bahadam class? So make you to perform service more. Voluntarily you should come and ask for the services. That is devotional service. Nobody tell anything, I am simply idle. It's not like simply taking prasadam alone is not a service. There are so many services that are there. Prasadam is one of the service. Some devotees take only do prasadam service, nothing else. Prasadam service, serving prasadam also, it is included. So prasadam service is one of the beautiful service in the process of bhakti. We are serving all other devotees. Prasadam service also be selfless. We are all taught. You go to people, devotee would have visited Mayapur or Vrindavan, see that. Even how many devotees from around the world come voluntarily, they go to the Gada kitchen, they used to prasad during the festival to hundred thousands of devotees. Sometimes it looks like very hard, when everything is hard only. Even bhakti is, we say the process is easy, anything is easy, it is equally tough. We cannot take because it is easy, chanting is easy. But it is not easy if you are not into it. That is why always all the temple chanting, Mangalarati time, all the devotees, there's a compulsory make the devotees sit down in the temple hall, chant along with the devotees. Otherwise you may, only you are having only Japamala, you may not even chant. So many basic things are there, Prabhupada enunciated for the devotees to practice conducively. Sometimes it looks like easy, but at the same time it is not easy if you are not coming into the Sangha. It was not easy. That's like a hearing Bahadam, all the devotees sitting. So like the same chanting morning after Mangalatram, all the Brahmachari, Sannyasi, Mayapur, like Mayapur. Everybody sit together. Darshanarthi, all the devotees together. You see Mayapur Darshanarthi is filled up. So like every temple darshanati, everybody should attend. The basic programs are mandatory. Some old people are there who cannot attend Mangala Arati. Basic darshanati, Guru Puja, Bhavadam class is mandatory. Very, very important. That is the only one time every devotee we see each other. This time on Prasad time, if he miss darshanati, next is Prasadam hall. Sometimes Prasadam also devotees don't come. So unless one have the basic discipline of all these three things, one will not understand the bhakti very clearly. That sometimes you see the classes, sometimes devotee asking question. They may be coming attending Bhadam class decades. Still they have a doubt on the devotional service. Simply hearing, if you are not, this is not a political science. People hear lectures and forget it like that. This will make you more progress on devotional service. So one has to be very attentive in the class, whomever gave, whether Maharaj gave any senior devotee, one should be very, very attentive. So classes are more instructive actually, technically speaking. Classes will educate the devotees to become a better devotee. If you are on effort, you will progress for the second stage like that. So for that, humbleness, I say in the English term obedient, humbleness is very, very, like a Chaitanya Mahāprabhu says, Sikshashtaka. Even chanting the holy name, one should be very, very humble than a straw in the street. Devoid of false prestige, offer respect to others. In such a state of mind, only one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. It is easy to read Sikshashtaka. Every day we are reading Sikshashtaka, Cheto Darpada Marjanam. You understand the word and reality, if you see whether we are able to practice or not. It is not easy. The humbleness should come internally, it is not externally. Superficially, I act as like I am pretend to be humble, it is not work out. It is naturally one should develop humble. For that only, those days the President used to say to all the devotees, everybody, any devotee, if I am senior devotee, above me who is senior, whatever I say, I should be able to do it. That's called obedience. Unconditional obedience. One should not worry what others are doing. You see what you can do for the temple rather than what others can do for you. Just like that is very, very important. Every devotee should think, wow, how much I can contribute more and more. Don't worry about others who are around you. That's not your duty. That's the leader of the duty, how the devotees are engaged. According to qualification, it's not only qualification, material qualification. When it comes to devotional service, irrespective of background, what you are coming for the bhakti, one should ready to do each and every service needed by the temple. I can proudly say, myself, we all clean the pot, clean the kitchen. Even those days, we used to have a maha cleaning. Even Maharaj had cleaned the kitchen, put a gamsha. Even before the sannyasi also, every Sunday, all the devotees will put gamsha. Everybody will clean the entire temple, spick and span. Some devotee will clean the toilet, some devotee will clean the kitchen. Even Bhanu Maharaj cleaned many times kitchen, Maharaj cleaned the courtyard. So many people hearing Bhanu Maharaj class. Bhanu Maharaj, you don't know how Bhanu Maharaj was so humble to execute all these services that he has. Maharaj used to go second class train ticket. Maharaj has travelled with me in a bike to the station, so many places. Imagine how Maharaj is very, very humble. So hearing class of aspect of Maharaj is one aspect. One should learn the good qualities for Maharaj is another aspect. Philosophical treatise is one aspect, execution is another aspect. Knowledge is for you to understand things correctly. If you understand wrongly, then you will preach wrongly also. When in terms of service, ultimately what is the substance of the knowledge? Performing devotional service. So that service requires a lot of humbleness and humility. Without that one cannot perform. We all Sunday along with me, Bhanu Maharaj, we clean Maharaj, many times Maharaj clean toilet, Maharaj clean Maharaj, Darabhir clean the pot, even Rohit, Sumitra, Krishna Prabhu, all of them Sunday, everybody we clean Maharaj cleaning. None of us were sitting here in a very cushion, not like that. Even now we serve prasad. Many times we serve prasad. Okay, we clean. So just like I clean my room myself. No, cleanliness is just a goal. By cleaning, you cleaning your heart. The president in those days used to tell me, by more cleaning, you clean your heart. But like when you are cleaning the toilet, president used to advise me, by speaking and speak and span, the devotees will bless you. So everything has some importance is there in the path of bhakti. No service is, one is higher, one is lower, nothing like that in the temple. Every service is towards the temple. Every service that will please Prabhupada. One should have a strong understanding about devotional service. Simply hearing in the class, walking away is not doesn't benefit somebody. Anything, everything one should do with a quality. Even cleaning the table, it should have some class of cleaning the table. So in the beginning of the day, when I joined first day, one South American director was there, Asti Gopal, Darabde Brahmanos. He taught me how to sweep. It's not like somebody giving a broom, just a fib. You are not qualified to sweep it. You should know how to hold a broom. Just like we are serving prasadam in the festival, Gaurapurim, all those things. Serving rice is the most difficult service than any other items. Because sometimes rice is very, very hard. You should hold the spoon correctly. You can serve even 3 drum, 10 drum, you can serve without gap. So everything one has to learn. Nothing is one can take this granted. Just like he showed me how to clean the broom, showed me how to clean a toilet, showed me how to cut vegetable. Even cutting vegetable is not. So you cannot cut vegetable different sizes. So according to the menu, one has to cut vegetable according to size, then only it has its taste. So everything is intricated. It's not that one can take things lightly. So any service has to be done 100% imperfect. Perfection is very much necessary in path of bhakti. Just like a chanting, we are purifying gradual chanting. But path of services also, services has to be done with a full of understanding. One has to do it like that. So somebody has to learn. If you don't know how to do service, you can ask some senior from how to do the service. Like a pujar assistance, cleaning the pujari room parts, like that. It has a dimensions. Like a pujari parts and Lord are not different. We used to preach like that. You can worship the parts. The Lord eating the prasadam plate, you can worship it. It is not a parts are just like a material part. They are not material. So everything has to be in order. Whether you do pujari service, we are cleaning temple hall, we are serving in the kitchen, whether you are sitting in a book table, you are thinking everything has its potency. So every devotee is every service is wonderful in the temple. Sometimes devotee has a kind of feeling, always somebody very fortunate to do pujari service, somebody I am only working in the kitchen, cleaning the pots. Because somebody has to educate them. That is why those days we used to have a bhakta class. Any devotee joining, we used to have a bhakta class. The bhakta director who should educate the devotee the importance of service in the temple. Then the devotee will do service very, very nicely. So we have to educate them. For that, then proper understanding should be there, humbleness should be there, humility should be there. Discipline is very interactant. It's a very, very important for the path of bhakti. Without discipline, you cannot perform service like that. One may do services, maybe incomplete, halfway, with a half-hearted done like that. So hearing, Bhavatami is just like a philosophy, these are all same philosophy we are hearing for years and years and years. Like acintya-bhedābheda-tattva, in the beginning of ISKCON, everybody would have joined, would have told you what is our Gaudiya philosophy. You know till today, what one understood, how one performed service, then one should evaluate yourself. It's not that we have to evaluate somebody, you can evaluate yourself, what state you are performing devotional service. So all these things are basic knowledge. So one has to be, the first foremost qualification is understanding the knowledge correctly, very correctly. If you don't, suppose a Maharaj class, somebody don't understand what, sometime Maharaj, some devotee understand, some devotee don't understand. If you don't understand what Maharaj speaking on the purport, after the class, somebody can ask some senior devotee what Maharaj said about this. You can ask and you can hear. It's not that day you hear a class without any understanding, you go away. Then you will not understand the whole subject chapter, what it speaks about. I can see a lot of people do not understand what Maharaj said like that. So some of them philosophical, very complicated philosophical treatise, thinking about the senses and the object, how we interact with the prakrti, okay, all these things. Like a matter is not an ordinary subject, but only a knowledgeable person who can understand like that. So no shyness, one should not feel hesitate. You can always ask any senior devotee what Maharaj said in the class. What is the conclusion of the purport of the class? One can ask some senior, one can hear, one can understand. So this way you will understand Bhagavatam properly, correctly, so that you will be a better position to preach to others. Otherwise, the knowledge will be very off. So period of hearing Bhagavatam, somebody asks you what did you understand the concept, then you cannot able to answer like that. But anybody can be a preacher. Prabhupada said everybody is a preacher in the temple. Every service is preachable. Like everybody is a preacher. It's not that your cook also a preacher. Somebody doing puja service, they are a preacher. Those are fundraising, they are a preacher. Everybody is a preacher. All of them was basic knowledge, we all know about it. So you can preach the thing. Any higher law of philosophical understanding, you can always guide to the senior devotee, you can preach. Even if you don't know, there's no harm. But you can guide to the senior devotees. Okay, can you go and hear him who is here for so many years? So seniors to be acknowledged by the juniors for the better preaching. So that's a whole, those days we were trained up like that. Just like I always say, when I was a bhakta, somebody want to become a life member, though I know the basic what is life membership, just a small example only. Somebody who is senior vice president, anybody there, I will take them. Prabhu, somebody want to become a life member, he will make them life member. So I will watch, I will hear what are the things he's speaking about the life membership, what are the benefit, I will speak. Just like same thing. If you don't know some philosophically able question to be answered, you can take them to some senior devotee, he will answer to them. There's no harm to them, no harm. You don't have to feel shy to that, why I don't know. No problem. We are not all knowledgeable. We are becoming knowledgeable by hearing day-to-day classes, by reading, hearing all these things. So nobody can say I am all knowledgeable of all shastra. We cannot say that, because it is a ocean to learn, the ocean to hear. So we are only hearing a spark. So it's a long way to go to hear. So at least the basic knowledge one can communicate to the common man who is sitting in the temple. That will make them to practice at the least chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Then gradually one can practice path of bhakti. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Gandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki.